So after that, we select it, and then we go over to the system type and see if we can change that and put it on vent. Now, as you can see, the system type of all of these has changed to vent, but we just need one of them. So I'll hit Ctrl Z and then divide these and then put this on vent, and then we can join them once again. Now the message here says that the angle given here is either bigger or smaller than what's needed. And in the next message it says it's not compatible with our system settings. So we go over to the Systems tab and open up the mechanical settings. Now here the option use any angle has been chosen already, and let me just check the other sections. So the option should be fine for now and we shouldn't be getting any issues, so I'll hit OK. So then I can select the pipe once again and let me just see if I can increase its length. Alright, now we can connect it once again, and then let's see. Alright, the message says that the segment is being drawn from the wrong side. Alright, so I'll hit cancel so we can do something much easier. I'll delete this pipe and then we can do the reverse action. We can go from up towards the down direction. So put the system type on vent, and then in this exact direction we can draw up to down, and now it should be fine. And the warning that we get here says that the different segments that we're trying to connect use different system classifications. Now this will cause problems later on in system calculations such as flow analysis and what else. And the system cannot calculate. And as you can see, this pipe here is under the system type of vent, and that's where the problem is coming from. And you can see the vents here as well. So we can fix the issue like that, and then we can go over here and select this pipe and drag it down. Then we can right click here and select the draw pipe option, and then using a slope of 1% towards the up direction, we can bring it to this point right here, and if we take a look at it in the 3D, that's what it turns out like. Then we can proceed to the plan. Let me first just close this detail file, and the part that we're building is actually here. So let's just go back to the cut file, which is the detail 10, and it's right here. So I'll open it up. Okay, first I need to check one thing here. All right, then I'll close it and go back to the plan, and then open up this cut line over here. All right, so I'll move this backwards a bit up to the point that we're allowed. Let's just turn off the select link option. Oh, actually, because we have a beam over here, we're not allowed to move this backwards anymore. So we can only keep it in this position right here, and that's pretty much the maximum degree with which we can change this. So let's go back to the plan and select this bit over here. Then I'll go over here and right click on the draw pipe option to the left of this, and then I'll bring the direction to near the column where it's located, and using an angle of 135 degrees towards the down direction, I'll draw this and connect it to here. And as you can see, it's been connected to the upper part right here itself. So then we can select these pipes over here. As you can see, the diameter is set on 63 millimeters and it should be 50 instead. So we'll select them and change the diameter to 50. Alright, and then we go through the piping system and select all the pipes that we need, including these and these as well, and then we can change the diameter to 50 of all of them at once. And there we go. Then I'll open up the visibility graphics menu, and then under the Revit links tab I'll activate the structure. And then as you can see, the system goes alongside the column here. And then the joinery comes here as well and hide the piping system here. So after that, I'll go back to the Revit links and activate the visibility of this as well. Now we can cover these as well later on when you're coordinating with your contractor. Now this part that is protruding out of the wall can be fixed by increasing the joinery that's reserved for the part around the wall. So now we have our venting pipe over here, and so we can right click and select the draw pipe option, and so we can draw the pipe from this point all the way up to this point right here, and then we can select this and move this closer and pull it over to the right direction. Alright, then let's go over to the 3D view to check it here as well. And alright, it just needs a bit more adjustments, so select it and move it a bit closer. Alright, and then it's okay for now. Alright, and the riser that we have up here, it requires us to have another vent here next to it as well. So I'll go up here and select the pipe that we have on top, this one right here. I'll select it and get a copy of this. Then I'll move over to the place next to it and then put the diameter on 63 millimeters because it was specified for 3 inches, and then the system type on vents. Now we can place it around this point right here, and then we can go over to the extend section and adjust the view range a bit. First we can put the top offset on 2.2, apply, and okay. Let's specify this position first and then we can decide after it. So we go over here in the plan and select this and move it upwards here and place it behind this pipe here. And alright, now let's go over to the 3D view, and over here I'll put this on wireframe settings, and then we move over here. Alright, right click here and select the draw pipe option. Then we draw the pipe towards the right direction and then down to draw this piece. Now let's change the angle of the 3D view and go over here to see what's what. Alright, open up the visibility graphics menu once again, and under the Revit links tab, I'll uncheck the visibility of the architecture for now and hit apply. Then using the trim tool of one single element, we'll connect these two together. Alright, and then these two as well. We're not allowed to do that. So let's just delete the fitting that we have here. And then we can try once again. Alright, so the problem is that we don't have enough distance. I can increase the length of this pipe here in this same direction, but we just have to be sure that we don't change the angle. Then we try once again, and alright, now let's go over to the plan. Now in order to see this part, we can adjust the view range and put the top offset for 3.2 now. And if you pay attention, you can see exactly where this part is located. Now we can select it and move it backwards a bit, and then using the trim tool, we'll connect it to this piece up here. Now we can get this as close as possible and connect it to this piece. I can do another thing as well, delete this pipe in the middle here and then select the fitting and drag it over here and connect it to the system like this. We just have to find the connection point and align them like this. Now the reason that it's hard to find the connection point is because we're actually in a slope. The piece on the right is actually on the slope itself. So cancel on this window and then we can hit Ctrl S to save it. Then we wait for that to be done. Alright, and after saving that, we can head back over to the 3D view to see what we have. Now this section here where we continue the riser upwards, we don't have to draw the vent pipe separately. We can select this over here, and let me just create a cut line in the plan for this point. I can select and copy this cut line and move it over here. Then using a line, I can lock it with this part, and then we can open up the cut. Alright, now we go over here and zoom in on this part to see what we have. Then select this and use the create similar option. Let's just connect this part to this piece over here first. Cancel on this. Alright, let's try this once again and draw the pipe from this point towards the up direction and connect it to this system here. Now we just have to increase the distance between these two so that the system can find the connection points. Alright, and then after that, I'll select the fitting and move it upwards. Alright, then use trim to connect these two. And as you can see, in this area here, we can actually place a fitting. So I'll just increase the distance between these two for now. And let's see if we're able to connect them. Alright. Now I'll select the system on the right and move it backwards as far as possible. Alright, so delete this element, the pipe in the middle, and then select the fitting and move the connection point here. Alright, and this part here is under the vent system type as well. And then the fitting here has been put under the sanitary system type. Alright, so for now I'll hit Ctrl Z to reverse this. Then I'll select the fitting. Alright, then let me select this pipe over here. It's under vent, so let me just disconnect these two for a second. Or I can go over here and hit tab a couple of times. Cancel this. Almost moved that by mistake. So then we'll hit select link. And we have a pipe here in the middle which we can delete. Then I can select the fitting itself, and then I'll hit tap a couple of times, and then we go over to the edit system option. Then we'll select a remove from system, so we can remove this piece, and then we can select the fitting over here and connect it to the piping system that we have underneath. Alright, cancel this because we don't want it to be under the sanitary system type. So we use draw pipe once again to draw this and then connect it here. Now I can select and delete the pipe that we have in the middle and connect these two together. And then from here on up, we have the vent system type. Now we can select the vent pipe itself and move it down towards this direction, and it will connect to this in the later levels. And the vent from the lower levels connects to this, and then it goes higher up and gets exported out of the system. And this part that we've moved above the ceiling itself, it already has a set in standard for height, which we'll have to go under, and then we can move from that point. So as you might know, the sewage system has to be completed under this strategy itself. And it has different parts, for example, one of which should be done using a 45-degree angle, like here, and in other places where we have some sinks, we'll create a vent from the point after the three-way fitting itself. And the places like this where we don't have any other options of way to go, we can put it before the siphon. Now, as I said, guys who are mechanics themselves already have a grasp of these elements and know what to do in these situations themselves. And our co-workers who are working in the structural and architectural sections, who want to run an MPEP model to get familiar with these settings, they should try to consult a mechanic. And alongside the consultation of a mechanic, they should try to run a pilot file first. You can use projects like the one we have here as your pilots and try to figure things out. And you can try to find your modeling style, so when you get into your serious projects later on, you'll get results sooner. Try to complete your families so you won't have to look for them later on, although we do give you a pretty comprehensive family package here ourselves.